Trump's war on Americans takes another life in Minneapolis today. From Midas Touch, reports incoming that federal agents have shot and killed another person near Glam Doll Donuts on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. Multiple shots fired. It was an execution, witnesses tell us. I am just, this is the most horrible thing, and that is happening again is unbelievable in this country. I literally feel like Minnesota is under attack by our own government in the same way that Ukraine is under attack by Russia. I feel like we need to stand up and defend Minnesota the same way we've stood up and defended Ukraine against Russia. But in our case, we're doing it against our own government who has hired these thugs. Look at this. This is from the ICE website. This is what they're looking for. America needs you. America has been invaded by criminals and predators. We need you to get them out. Then in small print, you do not need an undergraduate degree. In other words, we're taking anybody. You don't even need law enforcement experience. You don't need any knowledge of the Constitution or of the laws it's not even necessary that you've even ever heard of a thing called the Fourth Amendment. In fact, we would appreciate it if you don't know about those things. This is really crazy. Something's got to be done, and there's something we, the people, can do now this week. And I'm going to tell you in just a minute what it is. Very simple, very easy. We can all do it. You live in Republican states or Democrat states, we can all do this, okay? Anyway, just the lies that fill this administration from top to bottom. Look at this. America has been invaded by criminals and predators. They murdered Renee Good. She was not a criminal. She was certainly not a predator. Today, they've murdered another man, a 37-year-old man in Minneapolis who was a resident of Minneapolis. I don't know if he was a citizen or not, but they said he had a permit to own and carry a gun. All right? So if you have a permit to carry a gun, you have to be here legally and you have to have committed no crimes in the past. So they've murdered yet another person who is not a criminal or a predator. They are, in fact, the criminals and the predators. And look at this from our illustrious vice president. Remember, a few days ago, he said that these people who work for ICE have absolute immunity when they murder people. After the murder of Renee Good, he came out and said that the man who did it has absolute immunity. And he declared him not guilty already without looking at any evidence, without a trial, with nothing. J.D. Vance said that he had done nothing wrong. J.D. Vance declared him innocent and said he had absolute immunity from what he did. Listen to this.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job.
See, he declared him innocent. He said that guy's protected by absolute immunity because he was doing his job. And let's take a look at this. I want you to see how thuggish these guys are. This is from Minnesota TV. They are, what is it, WCCO or something? I don't know. Sorry if I get the station call letters wrong. But anyway, this is from Minnesota TV. They reported this live a little earlier today. And there's something I want you to see at the end of this report. It's about a minute long.
We heard our Esme Murphy ask the question. DHS says that this man approached officers with a gun. O'Hara says we were not provided any statement. We've only seen the video, so we don't know what happened before that altercation. And then he said that the 37-year-old man who lives in Minneapolis, they say that's the victim, when asked about conflicting reports, we reported on our air what the Associated Press said, which is that it was a 51-year-old man. He said Minneapolis officers accompanied the man to the hospital. That's how they confirmed his identity. And in that confirmation of who he is, they say they have a name that they will not release. They said that they believe him to have no criminal record. You heard that, Reg. Yep. And that they believe that he is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry.
All right, you hear that? So he's a lawful gun owner, which means he's not here illegally. You can't be a lawful gun owner if you're not in the country legally, okay? So he's not a criminal, and he's not here illegally. So once again, it looks like they've shot and killed an American citizen or someone who's here legally who is not committing a crime and who's never committed a crime. Now, is that a war on us or a war on the worst of illegal immigrants? These are not illegal immigrants. It's so crazy. I said this a year ago. I said, look, it starts with them, and soon it's going to be all of us. And I remember saying that and thinking, that's a theory. We don't have proof yet, and I can't imagine how it could expand out into the rest of us, but it has done it in less than a year. They're going after citizens and law-abiding citizens. Renee Good was not committing a crime. We're allowed to protest. And I haven't even seen any evidence or video evidence that she was protesting. What I saw, she was being very polite to the officer. She said, "I'm not mad at you." And she drove gently off. So this is a war on America by our own president. Our president is at war with us. Our president is at war with the country he leads. How crazy is that? Because the way he sees it, there's so many enemies of his in this country, and he's going to get out and kill them all. This is what dictators do. This is what dictators do to anybody who rises up and protests them. In this country, and in all free democracies, you're allowed to protest the leader without fear of being jailed or harassed, and certainly without fear of being killed. But when you live in a dictatorship like Saddam Hussein, if you were in Iraq during the time of Saddam Hussein and you dared said anything out of line, you would be killed, and you would be used as an example to instill fear into everybody else, so they wouldn't do it. And that's what this is about. They have these thugs on the street. Look, I won't say that's what this is about. This is about a lot of things. This is one of the things this is about. Put a lot of thugs on the street, put masks on them, make them look like evil villains instead of American law enforcement officials who could be respected in the past for the most part, and scare people to death. Scare them. Kill somebody. Oh, somebody got killed because they spoke out against Trump. And that's supposed to keep everybody quiet. And God bless the people of Minnesota. They are heroes. They are the new patriots. This honestly is going to go down in history. They are writing a place in history for themselves right now. They're putting themselves into history by standing up and not backing down and not being cowards and not crawling away in fear. Like, oh, they might come after us and shoot us. No, we stand together, all of us together, and we support each other, and we fight back. You got to fight this back because you have a government that's literally out killing innocent, law-abiding people. We got to fight back. And when I say fight, I mean the way they're doing it, with peaceful protests. They're peaceful protest, and they're killing people. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Now, let's take a look at what happened. And something weird happened here that I want to show you. And I'll back it up and do a little bit in slow motion. But first, take a look. This is what you're seeing across the street is where this happened. You'll see a bunch of ICE people beating this guy up. And then suddenly he's just laying completely still in the street. But there's an interesting thing that happens after that. There's a guy who slithers off. He literally slithers off and hides and runs behind an SUV like he's trying not to be seen. He looks guilty of something to me. All right, let's take a look at this.
Video, if we can take it here, we're seeing it from across the street, and we're seeing a clear confrontation between multiple agents and this individual who is knocked on the ground.
There's a guy. He was right there. I don't know if you can see my mouse. But here, let's watch that again. Let me slow it down a little bit. Okay. Hold on. The guy, I believe, is right in there. Here, let me just back this up a minute. Sorry. Okay. You'll see a guy with kind of a gray coat on. This is really small on my screen, so I can't see it too well. But he's right in here. And he's going to slither off after this is over. Yeah, there he is. If you can see my mouse, he's right here. Now watch where he goes right now. See him walking towards the camera, toward this car. He looks back. turns around, looks back, and now he ducks behind this SUV and slithers away like a snake. What the heck is going on with that? Let's take one more look, because this is like pretty interesting. I've never seen a law enforcement officer slither away, at least not one who was doing nothing wrong. This is what you would expect to see from somebody who just got caught red-handed. Watch, he's coming toward the camera now. He's right there, if you can see my mouse. There he goes. Look at him ducking behind the SUV and literally slithering off. That's pretty bizarre, right? Anyway, the good news is there's actually something we, the people, can do right now that could make a difference. The spending bill is going through the Senate next week. They're going to be voting on it sometime next week, between Monday and Thursday, probably before the 30th. They have to have it done. And the Democrats, have said that they haven't said anything about a filibuster. What we want them to do is filibuster this bill and force the Republicans to add provisions into it that will prevent these kinds of things from happening. Add provisions that stop ICE from doing all these things, that will require ICE to wear cameras, body cams, that will require ICE to take off their mask and identify themselves when asked. And how about let's put in a provision to get rid of Kristi Noem? Let's get rid of her. And Bovino, let's get rid of him. Put it in there. Democrats, stop being weak. Stop saying, oh, well, we don't want to shut down the government. Shut down the damn government if you have to for a few days, for a week. I don't care. Shut it down, because look what's going on. People are being murdered in the streets by our government. You got to stop it. And don't say we're in the minority, we can't do anything. In the Senate, the minority can always do something. So here's what we can do, we regular people. Call your senator. Call both your senators, whether they're Republican or Democrats, doesn't matter. Call, well, I was going to say call your congressman, or your representatives, but they've already done it. It's already gone through the House, so there's no need to call them now. But call them, go to their websites, send them a message through their websites, write them, not letters, but electronic letters, send them emails, any way you can contact them. If you can find 3 ways, by phone, by website, and by email, do it. Let's swamp these people in messages reflecting our anger at this out of control Gestapo government. Trump's Gestapo in the streets, and it's got to be stopped. And all of us can have a big role in it right now, because literally a lot of these senators, they know the right thing to do and they want to do it. They just need to know their voters are behind them. Okay? There's a senator in New Jersey, Andy Kim, new. He's sometimes voted with Trump on things. He seems a little weak. A guy like that, if he hears, if New Jerseyans ring his phone off the hook, he's going to be like, okay, well, my state's behind me, so maybe I will vote for a filibuster on this. All right? Let's all get on the phones. Republicans, if you have a Republican senator, they need to hear from you too. Maybe we can peel a few of those away. If they know, look, I know people in Republican districts are furious when they see this. And let your senators know that. All right? Let's do it. We got a week, and hopefully we'll shut some of this stuff down before the midterms. All right? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.